welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Alicia if you haven't visited my channel before. Today I want to talk to you guys about OCC pre-printed shoeboxes, specifically ours in the UK here. So basically it's recently come to my attention that our pre-printed shoeboxes here in the UK are actually smaller than the pre-printed shoeboxes in the US. So I've been watching Americans unpack their boxes on YouTube for a few years now, and I've always thought to myself, like, oh my gosh, how do they fit so many items in their shoeboxes, like their OCC ones? Like, they seem to be fitting a hell of a lot in there. There's no way I could, fit that much in mine. Like, it just, something didn't add up. And now it all makes sense. I'm not just useless at packing. Like, they actually do have more room than we do. And I only found out about that through talking with other YouTubers, like British and American. And there's our bigger, which is, I have to say, it did bother me a little bit when I found out about that, because we have to go out of our way to buy smaller notepads and smaller colouring books, it means that the children that get our boxes just get less paper and ultimately less items overall, less toys and stuff. So something just didn't seem really 100% fair about that, that other countries have more room to pack more items and their children receive more, and our children, although they still get amazing shoeboxes, like, they're not getting as much stuff. And while I do agree that quality is more important than quantity, you still can't help but feel a little bit cheated almost, like, oh, they get more room in other countries than we do. But the real issue that I have with it, besides it kind of just seeming a little bit unfair to the children, is it is really quite inconvenient to us here, or at least it is for me anyway, because the way that we size paper in the UK, if you're not from the UK, is so it goes from A1 to A6. A1 is the largest paper size that you can get, and A6 is the smallest. A4 is what a standard size document page would be. It's what you would use to print with, and it's also the size that most of our notepads and colouring books come in this country. And unfortunately, we can't fit anything A4 in our shoeboxes. So you really can't help but think, why have you given us boxes that we can't even fit our standard size notebooks and colouring books and paper in? Like, that just seems really ridiculous. And so we do have to go out of our way to buy, smaller stuff like A5 instead of A4, and things like that. It's not the end of the world, but it is inconvenient. I've always thought that it was strange. I started packing boxes 6 years ago, and even when I started, I thought, this is odd that the boxes don't actually fit A4. And I'll show you what I mean, actually. I can show you, because I've got one left over from this year. This is a UK OCC pre-printed shoebox. I hope you can see it okay from here. This is the last one I had left over, so we're very lucky that I had this one to spare, so I can show you what I'm talking about. So I'll take a colouring book from my stash. It's a colouring book / sticker book, but it's more or less A4 sized. So this is more or less A4. That's what A4 looks like. It's probably very similar in the US, honestly. Their standard paper size is probably almost, I think my husband told me, because my husband's American, I think he told me it's almost the same, like they're just very slightly off. So this is just a standard size colouring book. Now if I open up the box, hopefully you can see, I could do this at the table, but I can't be bothered to move my tripod around, so So I'll just show you. So this is what it looks like inside. I don't know if you can really tell how big or small this is on camera, but this is what it looks like. And this is the depth, if you can see that there. That's like how deep ours go. And then if I just show you, so there's no way that this is gonna lie flat in the box. Like, it's not gonna happen. You can see it's far too big. And then even if you try and stand it up and fold it over, it's still too long. So as you can see here, like, there's no way that's gonna go. It's just a little bit too long. You wouldn't even be able to squish that in there. It's just not gonna happen. So anything like this we can't put in these boxes. And I know other British packers are frustrated by this, and it's not just me, because we have a Facebook group of our own, which is, I forget the name now because it's quite long, the name, but it's called like something like OCC UK Bargains and Shoeboxes or something like that. And it's a great Facebook group, but yeah, some other members of that group have talked about this issue, saying, oh, it's frustrating, why don't they make them bigger? You know, if some people who have been new to packing boxes have said like, oh, well, I feel like I've wasted my money because I've bought some colouring books and some notebooks, and then I've ordered the boxes and realised that they are too small for all the stuff I've bought. So now I feel like it's just a waste of money. What am I going to do with this stuff now, you know? So I can understand their frustration. Like, I mean, yeah, I get frustrated by it as well. So having said all that, since I was a little bit frustrated by it myself and it did bother me, and I've always just wondered it anyway, like I was quite keen to get an answer, I did actually email Samaritans Purse this past week or two, asking them, you know, why are our boxes smaller than the American boxes? There must be a reason, so could you please give me an explanation? It seems a little bit unfair. You know, we can't fit anything A4, which is quite frustrating, and a lot of people do end up wasting money over that, because when, I didn't mention this, when you order these boxes from their website in the UK, the dimensions are not clearly stated. So people do get caught out, you know, they order them thinking, oh, well, I'll be able to fit A4 in there because that's the standard size of paper here, and then they can't. So I emailed them, as I said. I emailed Samaritans Purse about this, and they replied very, very quickly, actually, so I have to give them credit for that. And they did give me a detailed explanation as to why our boxes are smaller, and I'm going to read you what it says. So if you're packing in the UK and this frustrates you, or you want answers about this, I'm going to give it to you now. And you know what I should have done is pull up the email before I started filming, because now I'm searching for it in my inbox and I've got too many emails. And where is it? Okay, I think I found it. Okay, it says, "Hi Alicia, thank you for reaching out. We acknowledge your preference for the larger, stronger US shoeboxes." So she also said stronger. That's her words, not mine. And that's another thing I don't really like about our boxes, is that they are a little bit flimsy. I mean, they're strong enough, obviously, to make it, you know, I'm sure they do make it. I mean, they have to. I think there'd be a bit of an uproar if they weren't. So they do make it to their destination fine once they've got the packing tape on them, but they, like, if you look at this, sorry, should have said this before, but yeah, like, this isn't very, it's all a bit kind of, you feel like it could open up at any moment, and it's just not great, you know, like, I don't know if you can see that. but yeah, they are a little bit not as durable as you'd like them to be. So anyway, she said that herself, so I'm guessing the ones in America are more durable also, which is, yeah, irritating, I have to say. Anyway, yeah, so she said, yeah, we acknowledge your preference, although I've never used an American shoebox, so it's not really a preference, it's more just a question, why aren't ours, you know, as big or strong? But anyway, regardless, she says, we would love to be able to use this size, but they require larger outer cartons, which would require paid contract staff to load the trucks and sea containers. Unfortunately, we don't receive enough shoeboxes overall to receive sufficient income to pay for loading staff or to have fewer shoeboxes in outer cartons. In brackets, we can get 12 UK shoeboxes in our cartons, but only 9 US ones. If we increased the sizes, this would mean more trucks to get the same number of shoeboxes to the destination countries. We load our trucks using volunteers, so our smaller outer cartons are liftable by those who don't otherwise work as warehouse operatives, and our cartons completely fill the trucks, so we're not paying for any empty space. We realise this is quite a technical answer, but we hope it's helpful for you to see that we are having to balance a number of factors and have reached a carefully considered compromise. So that's the explanation as to why they're smaller here. But then when I emailed her, or them I should say, I did say to them, like, if you guys can't make our boxes bigger, can you at least state the dimensions clearly on the website when people are ordering them, so people at least know like what size box they're getting, so that they don't go out and buy stuff and then realise it's too small. And she said, we will look to alert supporters in future that A4 booklets won't fit in our pre-printed shoeboxes. And then she gave me a link for the dimensions on the website, but it's under frequently asked questions, and even then it's not easy to find, because the question that it's under is not like how big are the shoeboxes. Like, the question is, what size shoebox should I use? And then they've said, you're welcome to use any shoebox, but we find medium-sized boxes are ideal. As a rough guide, the dimensions of our pre-printed shoeboxes are 18 centimetres by 10.5 centimetres by 28.5 centimetres. So that's how big our boxes are here. And yeah, you have to go to FAQs and what size shoebox should I use to find out the dimensions of our shoeboxes here in the UK, which I think is kind of bad, really, to be honest. I do think that they should put it on the page that you order them from, you know, because otherwise people just aren't going to know. They're not going to have any clue. If they're new to packing, they're not going to have any idea what size box they're actually ordering, you know. It just seems silly. So I thought it was good that they said they'd look into making it clearer for people on the website. And then, yeah, she just thanked me for my support and all of that stuff. So yeah, I have to say I did think that was a good response. I thought that she gave me a good detailed explanation as to why this is, and she gave me the answers that I was looking for. So I do credit them for their reply. You know, they didn't just fob me off or say, oh, well, it is what it is, so, you know, or just give me a kind of blasé answer. So yeah, I guess now that I've read that to you guys, hopefully if you've ever felt kind of confused or frustrated by this, I hope that kind of answers some questions for you. It seems like, you know, like she said, it is quite a technical answer, but I guess in a nutshell, what she's really saying is that sadly, just not enough people in the UK pack shoeboxes for it to be feasible for us to have larger boxes like the US does. I mean, the US is a much bigger country anyway, so, and they've got by far many more people. So of course it makes sense for them to kind of be able to have larger boxes anyway. But you know, it's no secret that this is a very secular country now compared to past centuries, and it's really a shame, you know, that more people just don't pack shoeboxes in this country. So I guess what I would say to you guys is, if we ever want any chance of getting bigger shoeboxes, then we need to encourage all our Christian friends, but even our non-Christian friends, to pack OCC boxes. We need to spread the word about OCC, because a lot of Christians in the UK aren't really aware of this ministry either, you know, so especially those of an older generation might not be as aware of it, possibly. I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm just making assumptions here, but in my experience, more people my own age kind of tend to know about it than the older generations, because like the church that I go to with my husband and my children, I'm gonna be honest, it's mostly older people that attend that church, you know, the elderly, people old enough to be my grandparents. I mean, not all churches here are like that. Like we've been to churches that have loads of young people and families, but just the one that we happen to attend, it's mostly older people, and I'm not really that confident that many of them are aware of OCC. Maybe a few, but there's some work to be done there that maybe I can spread the word. We've not been going to our church that long. I think we started attending it just after the last OCC season, so there's definitely a chance for me as well to tell people I know about OCC and just get into conversation about it. Like, hey, do you pack shoeboxes? Have you heard about Operation Christmas Child, and so on and so forth. So it's something that if you're in the UK, it's something that we can all do. Just try and talk to your friends, family, people at your church. Just talk to them about it and try and get them interested in it. Because that's really the reason why we're having to struggle with smaller shoeboxes, you know, just not enough people are packing. So that's the answer to the question. It would be convenient if we could have bigger boxes someday, because the other thing that I want to say is that, you know, it's not the end of the world. Like, as many of you will already know, you can pack any shoebox you like. You don't have to use OCC's pre-printed boxes. You can use any standard size shoebox. You know, an actual box that had shoes in it that you bought, or just any cardboard box that's, I don't know, A4 sized or whatever. Just anything you can find, as long as it's kind of durable enough to survive the journey, then you can use it. You know, even if it's quite a large box, they will take it, and they're never going to reject a box. So size doesn't really matter, but the only thing that I find frustrating about having to find other shoeboxes from elsewhere is that they're not already decorated. Like, OCC's own boxes are, of course, already designed and festive looking, so it saves you a lot of hassle. You know, you don't have to wrap them, you don't have to decorate them in any way, you can just put them together and go. And I love that. And that's why it really pains me that they don't fit A4, because if I, you know, this year, for example, this season just gone, I had so much A4 colouring books and notebooks, etc., that I actually had to buy a bunch of cardboard boxes that were slightly bigger from Amazon, and they were expensive. And normally I wouldn't do that, but I just had to get rid of all this stuff. I was like, I can't hang on to this stuff anymore. I've got to get rid of it. And yeah, I couldn't find any that were cheaper, so that were big enough. So I just had to spend a fair chunk of money on them, which was frustrating, yeah. And then I had to decorate them as well, and I hate that because I'm rubbish at wrapping boxes, and I've got young children, so I don't have a lot of time to sit around decorating boxes like other people do. So yeah, it's a hassle for me, to be honest with you, if I have to use other shoe boxes, and I don't enjoy it. So it is a pain that these ones aren't a little bit bigger, because they're so close as well. Like if they were just an inch longer, like, you know, lengthwise, we wouldn't have a problem. Just 1 more inch and that would be great, that would be fine. But yeah, so it's frustrating, but we know why now. You know, I accept what she said, I understand what she said, so I'm not going to complain about it any further. You know, that would be pointless. And yeah, it's a shame, but you know, it is, these things are just the way they are, unfortunately. So yeah, that's all I can say is let's keep telling people about OCC, and then maybe something will change. But hopefully if you're new to OCC, don't let this put you off packing boxes. Just, if you don't want to use their own boxes, just find some larger shoe boxes, and then maybe you're better than me at wrapping and it doesn't bother you, and that's fine. But yeah, you don't have to use theirs. It's just a bit inconvenient. But my other bits of advice just before I finish would be, if you are going to use OCC's pre-printed shoeboxes in the UK, get A5 size exercise books. This is what I use when I'm packing these. These fit perfectly in our UK boxes. I get these from the range and they're really cheap. I think they're like 50p each or something. And if you're worried about them not having enough paper, maybe pack 2, or pack one of these and then pack a few A6 size notebooks as well, and that way you'll make up for it. But this is what I use when packing those boxes. And then in regards to colouring books, I would say either just buy them in person so you know how big they are before, you know, you spend money on them. Or what I've seen on this UK Facebook group that I'm a member of, which I think is quite a good idea, is if you have already bought A4 stuff and then you've got the boxes and you've gotten caught out and thought, oh no, I can't fit them in, is people are, it makes you cringe when you say it, but people are like cutting them up and putting them back together to fit them in the boxes. I know it's not anyone's first choice to cut up a perfectly new colouring book, but if you've already paid for it, you know, and you've got no one else to give it to, and you want to use it in your shoebox, that might be your only chance of getting it in, unfortunately. So you could try that as well. But that's my suggestions. Otherwise, just be really, really careful when you're ordering things online. You know, any item really, just be extra cautious of how big that item is. Do you think it will realistically fit in one of these shoe boxes? Because if not, then you'll have to be prepared to find a bigger one from another source. Anyway, so that's all I have to say about that, guys. Obviously, I'm still a huge lover of OCC. This video I'm not intending to kind of tear Samaritans Purse to shreds or, you know, shame them or anything like that. Like, as I said, I perfectly understand the reason why now, and I've made my peace with it. I still love this ministry, and I'm always going to pack shoe boxes every year, like no matter what. So, you know, I just wanted to share it with you guys to make more people aware, and just so people don't get caught out, and just in case, just to give you the answers really. So no, this isn't like a hate video or anything like that. Nothing of the sort. So yeah, so anyway, I guess that concludes my video for today. Yeah, I probably look terrible. I probably look tired and washed out, and this lighting in here does not flatter me. So I'm being quite conscious about being on video today, but hopefully I've done all right. And I hope you guys, as I say, enjoyed this video. And if you did, please like and subscribe. It would mean a lot to me. And let me know if you have any ideas of future videos that I could post. I have finished packing my boxes for this year, as you can see. I'm dropping them off tomorrow. And yeah, check out my videos if you haven't already. And I will see you guys soon, hopefully. And I'm looking for my remote now. Bye guys, I'll see you next time.